Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Are you ready for the show? Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. We want your views, we want your comments, so join us live. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes, so welcome. This is obviously the pre-match for Bournemouth. Obviously, it's quite quick. We've only just done Aston Villa pre-match a couple of days ago, but games are coming thick and fast at the moment.
Too quick.
Yeah. Really, it's obviously a massive game this weekend. We've lost to Palace and Palace and Villa in the dying minutes of both games. Unfortunately, going from could have been 2 points to 0 points. So Bournemouth is a must 3 points. Regardless of anything, there's no way we can come away with a draw. A draw is not good enough. What do you make going into this weekend? I mean, we definitely need a win, and I think everyone understands that. Do you think we're going to go with a new manager in 2 days' time?
I don't think there'll be a new manager, no. You know me, I'm more of a positive-sided person when it comes to Leicester and the football, but after the game on Tuesday, it's really lost my faith because now you've got to go into this Bournemouth game only expecting a win. You can't expect any less. A point is, yes, a point, but now with the 9 games to go, obviously we've got the list in front of us. This game is the easiest of the lot. But yes, it's still going to be hard. No game is going to be easy in the Premier League, but what the 9 games we've got, this is the easiest one. And if you can't beat Bournemouth, you can't beat anyone. And to be honest, you don't deserve to be in the league if you can't beat Bournemouth in the dying stages of the season. So for me, you go into the game and you've got to win. I changed the team up. Obviously, we'll talk about the team a bit later, but I changed the team up. It wasn't good enough on Tuesday. Certain players just shouldn't be still getting in the squad. But there was errors on Tuesday that caused the loss. We can't complain about that. Obviously, a red card and a stupid pass basically costing us a whole game.
Yeah, I think, excuse me, from the get-go, like you said, against Villa, we set up very defensive. You can see that in the lineup. We played very Brendan Rodgers style football without him being at the club. Obviously, it was a 48-hour turnover from Rodgers being sacked to the Villa game. So there was not a lot of time to change things, but I thought the players might have wanted to play the way they wanted to a bit more. But seeing Ndidi and Mendy in the team for me, I wasn't best pleased. And then when you saw Dewsbury or Maddison and Vardy, we didn't know where they were going to play with Barnes up there as well. Obviously, we knew probably going to play Maddison on the wing, and we did, and he obviously didn't do anything on the wing. He was a very lacklustre player because he's not he was playing on right midfield, that kind of position. He didn't do anything the whole game. He had 30 touches the whole game, which is very unuseful for a player like Maddison, and it's obviously not his fault. He's probably been told to play that position. He said he'll take one for the team. For me, if you're going to play with that kind of position, you just put Tete there because he is a winger, and you put Maddison in the midfield. Dewsbury obviously was seconds away from being subbed off, got the red card, and that it killed us off in the game. And then did his silly pass again. Little mistakes, little errors. Overall, I thought we were better, but again, we were still very timid when we were going forward. There was a lot of passing around the back, wondering what to do. When you just hoof it out. And Diddy's one where they scored happened multiple times where they just didn't take the chances. Villa. You can see the first goal, Castagna. He's putting his hand up for offside. It's ridiculous in today's day and age when if someone's offside, VAR will know.
You can't be doing the things that we're doing in Premier League football. You can't. No. Even Jake said that it's national league level. You can't be doing that and expect us to win games. You just can't. And then the second half it came out, and I was falling asleep because there was no action for us. There was no going forward. There was no attacking play. I don't even think we had a chance in the second half. They were all over us. We let them play on us, and all 3 of us said in the ground that it was coming. You could tell something was going to happen, but we basically gave it away instead of letting them score a good goal. And it was a good goal, but we let them have it.
Yeah, it was like I said, when the ball went to, was it Traore? I can't remember. Traore, yeah. When the ball passed him, it was perfectly teed up, for him to just left foot it into the corner when Iverson's off his line a bit more. The defenders are nowhere near it. Don't take away, like I said, it's a great goal, good finish, but we shouldn't have given it to Villa again. It's another point like Palace where we threw away from sloppy mistakes. again, we've obviously, like I said, there's only been 48 hours from that game to Villa. And Villa was a tougher game, but Bournemouth this weekend's massive. Really, we've got a bit of a rest time. Hopefully, we can understand the tactics a bit better. Hopefully, the players can play a bit better. I'm hoping that the players have a bit more of a say in the club and they choose to play where they want to play. If I see Maddison out on the wing again, or if I see two defensive midfielders in the team again, I just know we're going to play to defend, which is not very good when you're at home and you need to go attack and you need to get the goals in because you need the points.
We all said before the game on Tuesday that we just wanted to see some sort of change in the team to see there was an improvement from what Rodgers was playing. We thought there was until we actually saw how we lined up, and it was exactly the same.
Yeah.
He played two wingers, one being Maddison, who's not a winger, one being Barnes, who, yes, he had a lot better game than he has the last few months, but again, it was the same old, just trying to get the ball on the wings, crossing it in as much as we can, and then Vardy was just pointless. Again, we would have thought he was going to be that star man again. Even me and you put a bet on for him to get a hat trick. That was just never going to happen. But I think going into the Bournemouth game now, you've got to change it up. You've got to go.
It was better against Villa. Don't get me wrong. Villa are a tougher team, and it was a better performance. But we still played a lot too much the way Rodgers would have played that game. The substitutions again, like we said, the 60th minute, the players were dead. They were running around, which is good for them. They were trying to, get into it a bit more, running around, but you could tell they were shattered by the 60th minute. You could see the players tracking back, and this comment. I think he deserves. If you ask me, I play Pratt for the rest of the season. I don't think Drewsbury has been good enough, and
I'm honestly glad he's been sent off because he was always going to go in that first lineup if he wasn't obviously getting banned. And his performances recently have just not been good enough. And for me, Pratt is that main man to come in now. Most likely we won't see it. We'll probably see Maddison go back central and put Tete wide and still play the 4-3-3. But in my opinion, we've got to go top. We've got to.
You just got to change up. We need to play more direct, play through the middle of the pitch. Barnes, he had a good game. For me, he should start again against Bournemouth. However you fit him into the team, whether you play him as a striker, as an option up there, you never know because obviously we're lacking on the right side of the wings with Tete not being as good. Again, for me, this is the kind of time where someone like Albrighton would have been at least what he gives you every week on the wing. I know you're not his massive fan, but if Albrighton was in there, you know what he'd be giving you.
Yeah, crosses.
But at least he's consistent with everything he does. So it's a tough one, Bournemouth. Just don't get it wrong. We're going in there thinking Bournemouth, they're an easier team to get 3 points from, but they're probably thinking the exact same from us. They're thinking we could pick up some points against Leicester this weekend.
Yeah, we're at home. There's no reason why we can't beat these this weekend. We've got to be strong. We've got to be ready for it, and we can't make errors. Again, we've done it twice now. 2 errors have cost us 2 games in 2 points, and we go into Bournemouth now. It's having to win, and that's how bad it is at the moment. Because if you looking at the fixtures we've got next, we've got Man City after this, and that is basically a free hit. We could get anything there, most likely a loss. And then we go into the 3 games after that with probably expectations of winning all 3 of them again because
I think a lot of fans have said this weekend if we don't get anything less than a win, season's done. Which is, I think it's quite rightly fair, a fair comment.
Because if you say that, and like I say, after that Man City game, you really only have 4 games out of the 8 or 7, that you'd probably say are still winnable, but in the position we're in, they're not.
The games that are winnable, obviously the teams around us, and it's not a question of we should be winning. It's we need to win them.
Yeah.
They're do or die
Has to
games.
win, yeah.
Bournemouth 6 points, Wolves 6 points, Leeds 6 points, Everton 6 points, and then
West Ham. You've got the 4 games in a row. That's
West Ham's last game of the season. For me, like I said, we would know where we are pretty much by the Everton games. We've got Fulham, Leeds, and Newcastle straight after that. 3 very tough teams. 2 of them obviously away, Fulham and Newcastle away, and Liverpool at home. They're not easy games to face after the season we've had. So for me, by the Everton game, we need to know realistically if we can survive this league. And like you say, those between now Bournemouth, Wolves, Leeds, Everton, we need to win all 4 of those games.
You'd say realistically, you'd say all 4. But looking at it now, them 4 games, obviously excluding Man City in that. Again, you'd probably say 6 to 7 points you'd be is enough, I guess. But
It might be enough. Obviously, we're on 25 points right now, and we assume probably around 33 to 37 points average would be enough to stay in the league. Basing on how everyone else is doing, 33 being bare minimum, 37 being, top range probably is what we can get at the end of this season.
I was saying earlier that I do not care if we finish 17th on goal difference. I honestly couldn't care less. That's the only thing that's probably keeping us in the league at the moment is the goal difference. So hoping even if we get to that, I'd be happy to stay up, even if it does come down to the last day. Yeah, I think even Phil said that it'll probably come to the last day, and if we both draw, we'll stay up. And I think both teams will be saying, "Yeah, fair play, I'll take that."
Yeah, I mean, it's not an ideal situation from where we've come from, but it's better than being relegated. Definitely. I think a lot of people, like I've said, we should definitely be looking to get a manager in. I don't think Sadler and I can't remember the other guy. What's he called?
Sadler and Stout.
I don't. Between both of them, they're coaches. They've been at the club for a while, but they're not managers. There's obviously been a lot of brainwashing from Rodgers that this is the style we should be playing, and it's going to take a long time to ease out of that, I think, without a new manager. Because those two coaches are still going to maybe try and edge. They're coaches. They've been taught to train that way, so that's how they're going to train. And I think that's just how they're going to keep going with them.
How to play two up top and front, up front, and get the midfielders not playing too deep. Play the pressing, stop letting teams play out from the back. Easily a must-win Saturday as we get battered against City next week. Again, the way we played from the beginning against Villa was good. We saw there's a bit more fight there, but again, you see the steam of it after the 60th minute. You were knackered.
Not even second half, when it was a completely different game.
Yeah.
First half, I know we played well. We were unlucky to concede a goal. I've had a few say it was handball, but again, VAR, they obviously know the rules and sometimes make it wrong, sometimes make it right, but it stood. And we bounced back pretty quickly. I think Barnes' goal didn't take long to go back in the net, and we had a lot of aggression. But as soon as we came out in the second half, we could see we were sitting back, we were letting them attack us, and it felt like the old days of, we're just defending. For me, the best defence is a good offence. If you have a high line, if you have strikers and like Vardy right on their defenders, they have to sit back. They can't push up as high. All of our players were in our half, and we let them attack us. If we have players a bit higher up, I think it just opens up the game a lot more for us to attack. We said the same on corners, even when we had 10 men. Weisdacker in the box when they had maybe.
We had a clear run through. One of their corners, we literally got the ball in open space, and the easiest ball could have been to just boot it up top.
They had 7 or 8 players in the box anyway. Even when we were 10 men down, they didn't have all their players in. They had 3 or 4 on the edge of the box. So we should have had someone on the line. It would have pulled their players out a bit more, and we could counter-attack. I hope to see a lot more of counter-attacking Leicester on Saturday. I think at home, I don't want to see two central defensive midfielders again. At home, I thought it was ridiculous to start that against Villa, because it's just inviting them to attack. And when we got the red card, it was game done because we lost our midfield.
Before we do end the stream, I want your team, who would you bring out the team coming into this game, and then a scoreline?
So obviously, Jujubel's out. It doesn't matter. He's got a red card, so I would have brought him out anyway. Personally, I'd put Pratt in there now to replace him. I'd do a back 3 with wing backs. I would do Suter, Fies, and Castagna back. Not Castagna, sorry. Caglar, Soyunchi. Getting mixed up now. Left wing back, Christensen. Right wing back, Pereira. I'm surprised Pereira didn't start as well.
Pereira has to start for me.
Midfield, I'd have Mendy. Defensive midfield, Pratt. Madison, and then 2 strikers up top. For me, I'd probably go with Barnes and Vardy up top, because I don't think Barnes deserves to be dropped, but if we're playing wing backs, he doesn't really sit in the winger position. That's just that's how I do it. I don't think we would play Barnes as a striker. He's more of a winger, but I don't.
If you do play Barnes, you play Tete. You don't play Madison either.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We can't put Madison on the wing again. But for me, that's just how I'd be a lot more creative going up front. I think a lot of our talent does stem from the attacking threat we have. I think the defense is okay, but when we're sitting back for 80 minutes of the game,
like GPM more say there, Nacho. For me, Nacho starts, and I think you either do play Vardy with him or you play Daka with him. It's either way, but Nacho for me has to start. I think since he's been in, we've scored more goals. Again, Spurs, Villa, he's been in both of them games where we did beat them. Yes, it was not the greatest form after that, but when he was in the games and he started, we've scored more goals, and for me, that's the
Yeah, I
start
think
of
it's a
a
weird
good
one why
attack.
Pereira wasn't in the team.
Mm.
I don't understand why he wasn't in the team against Villa. Nothing against Castagna. I think you just know he has a certain level, and I think he's peaked.
He
at
gets
that
so
level.
far up the pitch and then he stops because he hasn't got the pace.
Again,
Like
he was one
like
when
Pereira
you're
has.
watching the last half. Now he was knackered. You could see him. He was not tracking his plays back at all. Luckily for us, Villa weren't using their wingers, but I was saying to you, like if they just switched the ball now, they've got a free wing and they could attack
That's
it.
the reason we scored on one.
Yeah, they could have. For me, Villa could have easily. When you watch it in real time at the game, they had so much space they weren't using because they knew that it would just come eventually because we were one man down. But they had a lot of space they weren't using, and it could have easily been a couple more than just a 2-1 in the end. But you know,
Scoreline.
yeah, scoreline. It's tough, isn't it? I can't think of one.
Oh,
3-0 Leicester. We have to win.
we have to win. Yeah, there's no way down.
If we lose, for me, I think we're a relegated club. Just looking at teams coming up, Bournemouth is the easiest team at 6 points we have coming up, but out of all of them. And when you look at the other ones, Wolves is going to be hard. Leeds is going to be hard. Everton, tough. Fulham, nothing. Liverpool, nothing. Newcastle, probably nothing.
We have to split. On the positive, the way you have to be positive is say that there is points there still to take.
There is a
We've
lot
just
of
got to
points
take them, and at the moment we can't see it. So,
how many games is it? 8 or 9 games?
8 games.
8 games left with
Bournemouth.
3 points in each one. What's that? 20. God, I'm 24.
24 points.
Yeah, 24 points available.
25, 27 if you include Bournemouth.
Realistically, we only need maybe
10,
15
That's how bad it
points.
is.
So we just need to pick up 4 wins, and that, like I said, those 4 wins realistically need to come against the teams that are around us.
Ethan, you can't say that. You can't be saying that, Ethan. We need to be positive. Get behind the boys, even though we weren't that bad against Villa at the league round. But yeah, I'm gonna go for a 2-1. We're gonna concede. It's Leicester. We're gonna concede. I don't want us to concede, but we're gonna do it. Most likely from a deflection. How unfortunate we'll probably get, and Daka with 2. Daka's always gonna get me 2 goals.
Yeah. Well, I think that's fair. We've got to see which Leicester turns up. We'll know. I'll have a better view now before the match, depending on which team starts. Because again, we saw the Sky Sports news. It said Anthony was on the right wing. We're like, what is this team? What are we actually playing? And clearly, it didn't work very. Maybe it was a bit better, but it wasn't as good. But anyway, Reedy, thanks for joining. It's a weird one because we definitely need to win, and obviously.
Do you mean that it's like you can't have nothing but a win now, can you?
Also, no Leicester fan wants us to go down. We obviously all want to stay in the Premier League. It's going to be a tough 8-9 games left till the end of the season, and I think it's just struggling, isn't it? It's struggling to say anything about how we really go forward. I know we sacked Rodgers, but we saw a lot of him still in and around the club on Tuesday night. Hopefully, it's starting to just phase out a little bit more.
And like you said, the quality, like people are saying, like the quality now. If you're saying that we've got too much quality to go down, this is the type of game where you think this should be an easy win for us.
Yeah,
I don't want us. I saw Barnes' interview after the game on Tuesday, and he said that we have got enough quality in the changing rooms. You can't look at that. You can't be saying that. You can't look at it like that.
Any team is good enough to go down in the Premier League. There's no one that's outstanding. I mean, just look at Fulham and Brighton this year. 2 teams that you probably wouldn't think would be doing as well, but they are. Fulham have literally just come up on what are they, top 8 still? I can't remember where they are, but they're taking the season. It's not been a good season overall when you look at points. There's a lot of similarities in every team. We just need to start with a win on Saturday, really. I think that's pretty plain and simple.
You never know. We could beat Man City. You don't know that.
We could. Anyway, thanks guys for watching.
No
I'll catch you all soon.